Welcome to Right Now. It's okay to be curious, like and share, subscribe with that notification bell and drop a comment. The debate has been going on. It had been going on, and the veterans they're chiming in. I saw Otto Bowden. He was on a podcast. Can't remember the name of the podcast, but he was saying that he's banking on Kishane Thompson to win this one. Sorry. Yeah, he's banking on Kishane Thompson to win this one. The kind of form that he saw from Kishane Thompson, the win that he saw, he cannot just disregard all that he's seen from him. Can't just disregard it. That is not unusual. That is not usual. It's an unusual kind of run from any athlete. You've seen Kishane running at 9.77 after first running in the first heat. He ran 9.82. He doesn't even know how to slow down. The first heat of the trials, 9.82. Then followed up with 9.84 before running a full throttle 60, shutting down, getting 9.77. A lot of people saw that and said that's what Usain Bolt, that's what Asafa Powell look like. And some people are saying Kishane Thompson is the next coming of Asafa Powell, like Asafa 2.0. Asafa is the one for caution. Everybody said that. Leave an athlete to be an athlete. Let them be who they are. They're building a name for themselves. They're building a reputation for themselves. And those athletes who are coming up, creating a legacy for themselves, should be compared to themselves. And Kishane Thompson is also shutting out all the noise. And I think it's a good look from him. No, the debate about the world fastest man. I thought where Noah came and he made it clear that it's not something that he asked for. He didn't ask for the title, but the fact that he's the world champion from the championship, he got the title and he has to use it. So yes, Noah Lyles is saying he did not ask for that title. He got the title. He's using the title. A lot of people are giving a little backlash to Noah because of how he's using the title. I think he's just not responsible enough using that title, like, going around the world fastest man. We haven't really seen enough from Sha'Carri Richardson. She's not saying a lot. So at this point, the difference between Sha'Carri Richardson and Noah Lyles is that they both have the title of world fastest man or woman, but at the end of the day, Sha'Carri is not saying it, she's not forcing it on herself, and Noah is saying it, he's forcing it on himself, and they're apologizing for it. Journey with Kelly, welcome to the live, appreciate your comment. ASEAN Fairly blessed up. ASEAN Fairly, appreciate your comment, saying that you would have stayed for the live, but it's a bit late. I do understand. It is truly, it's a bit late for real. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on this. It's not really like I'm not sure how long the live will go. It's a Sunday night, and who knows how far it will go. But Michael Johnson, he came and he was making some comments about the entire thing. As I said before, Otto Bowden, he chimed in and he was saying that the world fastest man is naturally he's saying that the person running the fastest time is Kishane Thompson. He's expecting that he would win. Only that Kishane haven't really ran at a major championship, so he's yet to see if he is really, really ready. Like, is he gonna be able to stand up to whatever is coming his way? A championship brings a lot of pressure, and they're gonna be looking to see if he'll be able to stand up to whatever that takes. But Michael Johnson is a world record holder in the 200 meters. He knows what it takes to be an elite athlete. Before Usain Bolt, the world record holder in the 200 meter was Michael Johnson. Very decorated athlete. He's saying that he's spitting some facts. He's coming and he's spitting some facts. He's saying that Usain Bolt, fastest man ever. Period. No debate around that one. Usain Bolt is the fastest man of all time, and the fact that he's the fastest man ever, he's still alive, it makes him the fastest man alive. Even if there's a world title that says the fastest man is the man who won the world championship. Sometimes I really wonder about the technicality behind it, right? The technicality behind it suggests that even though the athlete is the world fastest athlete or the world's fastest man, is it the fact that he's alive and he's in the championship and he could potentially be faster than Usain Bolt because Usain Bolt is older now and he's no longer an athlete. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's exactly where they're going with it, or is it just that it's the best way to coin the phrase the fastest man alive. But with Usain Bolt being the world record holder in the 100 and 200 meter, he is the fastest man of all time, 100 and 200. As a result, it's hard to discredit or even go around what Usain Bolt had done. He is the fastest. And the crazy thing about it is that we haven't really heard him using that phrase. We haven't heard him using the phrase that he is the fastest man alive. Not well, even if he used it, we haven't heard it a lot. Not recently, and even during his time, he didn't really use it a lot. So the world fastest man ever is Usain Bolt. Michael Johnson is shedding some light on that and saying, period, he is the world fastest ever. Noah Lyles is the world champion, period. So it's like no debate around that. He's talking about the facts of the matter. No debate around the fact that Noah Lyles is the world champion and saying that is unequivocal facts. We all know he won against Leslie Tobago. I think Leslie is the silver medalist in that one, or was a silver medalist. And Noah, he gained the title of the world fastest man. As I said before, with Shakara Richardson being having the same title, she's not going around saying it. She's not pushing it out there into everybody's face. And why is it that her strategy is so much different from Noah Lyles' strategy? Noah Lyles is going out and saying it and trying to make the noise. But the problem with all of this is when he's saying it, the simple fact that Kishane Thompson ran such a stellar time, I don't think he should be using that phrase. And that's where a lot of the problem comes in. A lot of people they're giving him a backlash because he had been using the phrase world fastest man or the world fastest man alive. Even after Kishane Thompson came into the picture and he ran a very fast time, followed up, well, he ran a fast time. The time he ran in the first heats of the Jamaican trial, he was faster than Noah's PB at the time. And then he followed up with a fast time again in the second heat in the semifinals. Then he ran a world leading time, but the fact that it's world leading, one might want to say that you know what, this is not he's not the world fastest man or the fastest man alive. He's just the man that ran the fastest time of the year. The problem with all of that is that nobody else, no one has still yet to run a time that fast. So even Fred Curley could be considered a faster athlete than Noah Lyles. It's just that Noah Lyles had run faster time than Fred Curley in recent times, as well as he had run faster time than Christian Coleman in recent times. So the I think the issue with Noah Lyles saying he's the world fastest man is the fact that he's saying it at a bad time. A time when Kishane Thompson came and destroy that conversation. But with the Olympics coming in, you need an athlete that would be able to promote sport. And who is the best person for them to actually promote that? It would be the world champion. No, like it's the world champion, so he would be the best person. But with Kishane coming in, with the time that he came in with and how he ran that time, and the fact that he followed up with within 4 races, he ran sub 10, and two of them sub all four sub 10, and two of them sub 9 9. That's where the consistency of Kishane came in. So he's saying that Noah Lyles world champion, no question about that. Noah Lyles, Marcel Jacob is the Olympic champion. Olympic champion, and that's not a question. Jamaica didn't get that. So for the past 4 Olympics, Jamaica had 3 of the 4 Olympics, and Marcel Jacob, he got the fourth one. So Marcel Jacob being the Olympic champion, a lot of people they would be looking to Marcel Jacob and asking why is it that he was never labeled the world fastest man? Is it almost seems that his time was not even considered as a real time, like it was a fluke. Yet he still followed up with that world champion, with that Olympics, and got an indoor championship. And getting an indoor championship suggests that you are running against the best and still winning against the best, inside or out. John Wick Kellini is saying on paper one cannot see his point because the numbers says otherwise. That's where the problem comes in. Even if it's not on paper and in reality, he's not running faster time than some of these other athletes. And is putting extra effort into the times that he's running, while other athletes are running conservatively, pulling back and getting similar time. Kishan Thompson, Michael Johnson said, Kishan Thompson is the fastest time in the world, period. So, with Kishan Thompson having the fastest time this year, it calls for concern when he says he's the world fastest man. That's where it comes to saying that he is the world fastest man. Kishan Thompson is the fastest man this year. And he wrapped this up by saying everything else is opinion, and opinion are not facts. One more fact about this is Michael is old and slow as F. Yeah, man. He put in all of that to rest. Johnny Kelly needs the guys as you come in, please like the live. All interactions are appreciated. Michelle, welcome to live. Appreciated comment. Why are they debating the obvious? You're saying is the fastest man alive, and Kishane ran the fastest time this year. It's in the record in the World Athletics book. I believe they are trying to promote Olympics, and Kishane single-handedly destroyed their strategy, running that time and pulling and putting the world focus on Jamaicans. And it also created a resurgence in the Jamaican camp. I have a few questions. I'm going to run these questions by on the screen, or maybe first one I'm going to run on the screen here is will the Jamaica 4 by 100 women lose to the same US team? Very interesting question that I was thinking of. The Jamaica team, they had a good team and they still lost to the US team, the US women team, and that USA women team. They should be confident about their chances of beating the Jamaica team. But do you think the Jamaica team would be sitting back and waiting for those girls to come again and have the same kind of bragging rights? I think that there will be some form of revenge in that run. I believe it's not going to be as easy as they think. Going into a championship, losing to a group of athletes from the USA in that 4 by 1, while still having some of the best athletes in the world. Jamaica will be looking to come a little better, but I'm sure that those girls will be very confident about what they were able to achieve, and they will not be giving the Jamaicans a free run to that 4 by 1 medal. I do believe that Jamaica do have a chance to get a gold in that 4 by 1. It's going to be difficult for sure, but I do believe that they have a chance to get a gold in that 4 by 1. What do you guys think? You'll probably see this video after it was uploaded. So let me know what you guys think. Why are the teams being compared? Why do you think the Jamaica team, the current Jamaica team, is being compared to 2008 Olympic team? That's another interesting question I have. I believe that this Jamaica team, based on what they're seeing on the ground, they are sparking a bit of resurgence. That Olympic team going into 2008, we saw so much that came out of it. We saw world records. We saw a dynasty starting from that 2008 Olympic team. This Olympic team is a young team, a very young team. So it's in the time of social media. It's in the social media age. So we are seeing a lot of stuff from this young team. The athletes are showing us what's going on in the village. They are definitely young, a young group of people. Wendy, welcome to the live. Hello, my friends. Appreciate your comment. Tonight is a slower night. Lots and lots of lives all over. I'm sure tomorrow after this is posted, it will be seen, it will be observed. But I'll keep it going nonetheless. Yeah, the Jamaica team currently being compared to the 2008 team. The 2008 team was a strong team because it started a dynasty. The dynasty where Usain Bolt was born, Shelley and Fraser Price was born, and the rest is history. Both of them is in the ESPN list of most influential athletes for the 21st century. Another question I was very much interested in is what are your predictions for the 100-meter women and men? Very, very difficult to predict those two with all these athletes being as in tip-top shape as they had been. These athletes are in tip-top shape. I'm sure they are looking forward to putting their name in history book, and they're trying to upset somebody. I'm sure they will look to upset somebody Jamaica is Jamaica in the 100 meter for men and women. On paper, it's definitely, well, on paper it will be Noah and Shakari, but in from what we have been seeing, it should be Kishane just from the times that he was running, and it should also be, well, Shakari as well. Emotional, due to emotional connection that we have to our athletes, we still would prefer to see Sherika and Kishane, Oblique, Shelley, Tia, and Akeem Blake doing their thing. That's where we would be looking for it. But we have to be very much cognizant of the fact that these athletes are not going to give it to us. It won't just be handed over to us at all. Journey with Kelly is saying, what paper? Because paper reflects time, and that time is saying Kishane. It's definitely saying Kishane. But when we talk about the 100-meter woman, the paper might be saying Shakari. But the only one other thing, I've been hearing Noah, but we haven't really heard too much about Shakari. No Shakari, no Shakari. Like, why is it that Shakari is so under the radar? Is it that she knows something that that we don't know? Why is Shakari under the radar at this point? You know what I mean? Because General Kelly said it is for Shakari to lose. I do believe that Shakari at this point is the winner on paper, and the fact that she's running so well, it's for her to lose. One thing that I observed also is that the MVP camp is not necessarily interconnected with the overall Jamaica camp. So there, we haven't seen a lot. We haven't seen a lot from the MVP. When they say, and I think it's because everyone knows Shakari is going to win. I do believe Shakari, it's for her to lose. If she doesn't win that one, it's because she just choke. It's for, if she choke, then she will lose. But if not, then she will win. It's for her to lose. But I was going back to the point that with the MVP camp have some of our strongest athletes, the athletes that are favorites to win. The athletes like Kishane Thompson, Sherika Jackson, just the marquee athletes in the marquee sport. We haven't really seen or heard from the MVP camp. And that is one of the reasons why it's hard to say that Sherika is not in the shape that she needs to beat Shakari. You know what I mean? Sherika is an athlete who has been running very good times for a very long time. You know, with Kelly, you're saying that. But I think Jacko is coming for revenge. In the 4x1, I think she would love to get that revenge, and in the 100. And Shelly and Fraser Price, seeing that she still have a chance, and she's the veteran that she is. I was reading an article this morning, and she's saying that she's banking on her experience. Shelly and Fraser Price is not just going out there to run just willy-nilly. She's going out there to manage her races throughout the rounds and then lay it all out on the line in the finals. She had been there before. She had done it several times. She had the banner at the Nike headquarters to prove it. Been there, won that. I hope that she will be there to win it this time around. Again, as I said, we have an emotional connection to our athletes. It really depends on where you're watching from and where you're from. You'll find that the athletes that you have that emotional connection to is the one that you would be favoring to win. We have so many athletes that we have emotional connection to in our camp. So we're favoring various athletes to win. At this point, you'll find that we'd love the Jamaicans to win, but then they ask which one. You'll say, all right, we'd like for Shelly to win because of the fact that she is the veteran that she is. But we're also looking at the logics of it and say that Sherika Jackson is the faster of the two, the one that is most informed and or had been most informed. And as a result, if we are going to throw emotion out the door, then we're going to choose Sherika Jackson to win this one, right? And also, with all of the hype around the secrecy of the MVP, we are hearing that Tia Clayton is ahead of schedule. They were expecting that it would have taken a couple of years for her to get into the shape that would bring the medal home. But they're saying she's so far ahead of schedule, she could actually win this time around, beating even Sherika. I wonder if that's just a legend. I wonder if it is facts or is it just for us to keep the mystery going. The biggest question, and I've alluded to it in the previous question. What is Frano Francis, Stephen Francis, and Paul Francis up to? What are these guys up to? I had been wondering that for a while now because these athletes they are not in the same environment of as the rest of the Jamaicans. Are they in a bubble, just locked in, just watching tapes, being motivated? Are they conditioned to just ignore everything and go out there and run and win? I really, really would love to get just some. I would like to have Junel take a trip to Frano Camp for a day. I'm sure that we'll find out something. Would be interesting to find out what's up with the Frano Francis. Definitely would like to see. Guys, we have a small group tonight. Remember to please like the live. Appreciate it. Even though we're a smaller group, you'll find that it would push it out to others who might be interested as well. Do you think that Stephen Francis have any ace up his sleeve? Do you think that the Americans have any ace up their sleeve? Do you really believe that after a tradition, a history of winning, Jamaica will be losing to the US? I know the US is talking themselves up to for a win, but the history of Jamaica winning, the history of them winning at the Olympics for the better part of 20 years, do you think that even with all the preparation that they're having and the lead up to it, all the information that is being spreaded around, and with the athletes, the way how we're seeing some of these athletes looking, knowing that they are just as equal as anybody else, and they just might have some kind of information about the events and about track and field that others don't have. Do you think that the US really are in a position to be saying that they are going to win? Yes, Shakara Richardson last year, it was for Jamaicans to lose and they lost it. But this time it's for her to lose. Will she lose it? And remember, we have seen Sherika Jackson twice. She had choked twice. In the Olympics, she. All right. So I believe the coach, he walked them through a strategy. Get to the finals and lay it all out on the line in the finals. We saw in the Olympics 200, Sherika Jackson, she didn't get to the finals because she ran she ran a slower time than she should have, and it's mostly because of the when they are saying, of course, you think the USA have a strategy. Do you think that the USA really will be taking a dynasty away from the Jamaicans? After Jamaica don't have one legendary coach. They have two, and it's a group of legendary coaches coming up behind them. And the athletes, I've been seeing where these athletes are being compared to the athletes of 2008. The 2008 athletes, they started a dynasty that continues to this day. So if they're being compared to the athletes of 2008, it suggests that this is the resurgence of a dynasty or the beginning of a dynasty. You'll be seeing dominance for years to come. Remember, like the Shelly and Fraser Price, she's going out. I think Sherika Jackson could still have another one or two Olympics still left. That's a number of world championship right there. And depending on how we see, depending on the performance that we see from Tia Clayton or from Kishane Thompson or from Pinnock or from Hibbert or from even Alana Reid, these young athletes going to get some experience. It's the beginning or the start of a dynasty, and I just don't believe that the Jamaicans will be giving it over that easily. No, I don't believe so. Wendy, you're saying, but truthfully, I just learned both countries are probably doping, even though testing negative. What do you mean by you learned that? What do you mean by you learned that? So you're saying they might be doping? Hey, I would not say it's impossible. We're in an age of new science, but you're also again, science is understanding the body. And some of these coaches, they are not just going to help the athletes to go faster, they are going to help them to break their body, rebuild it. And if you know about breaking and rebuilding, you'll see that whenever you break a joint or anywhere you get a tear, at that spot it becomes stronger, right? So these athletes are being trained, and the coaches are there for a very long time. The athlete might be there for 5 years, 10 years, maybe 15 years, but the coaches are there for decades, and the knowledge is being transferred from a coach to an athlete, and a new athlete coming in fresh and green. They're going to get information that the athlete, that the coach accumulated over the years that they couldn't have given to a previous athlete because they learned it from that athlete, and that athlete might be injured at the time when they learned it. So it could be that some doping is going on, but there are no evidence. But if you're saying that there could be doping in both camps and it's not proven, it could mean that it cancels out. No, if they're both doping, which I do not believe that's what it is. If they're both doping, why are you saying that Jamaica just have better dope? Dope is better in Jamaica. So sad. So I'm sad. Not fair at all. But it's just speculation, right? You don't think it's just speculation? So it's just speculation. I don't believe it's real. Innocent until proven guilty, as according to Journey with Kaleem. I don't believe that as well. If you didn't see, if you didn't hold on to me pumping that jet fuel in, then it was me. Wendy, do you know who Shaggy is? Shaggy is also from Jamaica. He has a famous phrase. It wasn't me. You didn't see it. It wasn't me. Hey, you're saying it's better in Jamaica. I didn't say that. Yeah. Well, that's food for thought. That's food for thought, Wendy. It could be better in Jamaica. Jamaica is just better overall. Did you think about it that way? The Balco Lab owner spoke about it some years ago. So you're saying that the Jamaicans, all right? Do you believe that is logical though? Let's just use a little bit of reasoning here, right? Jamaica being a third world country with no world class scientific lab, right? Jamaica being a world class, being a third world country compared to the USA being a first world country with all the money in the world. Do you think that Jamaica is capable of deriving drugs that will not be detected by the world at large? I do not believe that it's possible. And if Jamaica is able to do something like that with the little that they have, it means that Jamaica is just outright better. It's just outright better than the USA. And I think you should switch allegiance to Jamaica, Wendy. Yes, I love his music. His Tiny Deck's concert on YouTube was nice. Yeah, back in the day, he had a song called It Wasn't Me. Means that if you didn't catch me doing it, then it wasn't me. Okay? If you didn't catch me, it's not me. Do you see the drug cartels? They were mostly in third world country. When you're trying to say that third world country is smarter than the first world country, I'm asking for a friend. I'm just asking for a friend. Jordan Kalini said, well, then at when the Jamaica would be beating America at their own game. If so, I call that a win. I call it a draw. I call it a win and a draw because the draw is that we beat you at the drug game, and the win is that we run away. We still run left you. So at the end of the day, we both win and draw, but you lose. Yes, third world country are very smart. So are you saying that the first world country should be learning from the third world country? Well, I don't understand. Are you saying that we should be teaching the first world country how to make dope? I don't believe that Jamaica is doping. I believe that Jamaica learned about the body in a way that the Americans haven't learned about the body. I think that's where the issue is. And even with Shakari being naturally fast, I believe she could have been faster. Yes, please, you're saying that we need to teach you how to dope. I don't believe that. I believe that if Shakari was in Jamaica, she might have gotten a better opportunity. Let's face it, right? Jamaica send some of its athletes to America to train. And the athletes who are staying back in Jamaica, they are training there and producing high quality results compared to the athletes who had traveled overseas. Some of these athletes are giving us good results as well. I'm not saying that they are not providing good results, but the athletes who travel outside of Jamaica and go to the different countries overseas to train, predominantly to the USA, they are not producing the same results. For those who stay in Jamaica and train in Jamaica, the results are different. Hence you have all right, the world record holder, the two previous world record holders, from Jamaica, Asafa Powell, Usain Bolt. They both trained in Jamaica. They both trained in Jamaica. And this could go back to the fact that you're saying that they're doping in both places. But why haven't they been able to provide a world record holder or a man capable of running similar times? Right? So in the third world country, we are still sending athletes. For example, we have Alana Reid and Tia Clayton. Alana Reid and Tia Clayton, they are pretty much from the same era, right? Alana Reid being the faster of the two athletes. Alana Reid is training in America at one of the best coaches, with one of the best coaches in America, right? I think his name is Dennis Mitchell. He trains Shakari Richardson, Melissa Jefferson, T.T. Terry, Christian Coleman now. I think Justin Gatlin at one point. But they're saying these athletes going into leaving Jamaica, coming here, they are running slower times than the athletes who stayed in Jamaica and decided that they're going to represent for Jamaica. We have seen a Usain Bolt out of Jamaica, trained in Jamaica. We have seen a Johan Blake out of Jamaica, second fastest man of all time, trained in Jamaica. Asafa Powell, a two-time world record holder, trained in Jamaica. We have seen Elaine Thompson Hira, the second fastest woman of all time, trained in Jamaica. Shelly Fraser Price, probably one of the greatest sprint female athletes of all time, trained in Jamaica as well. But America being a first world country where they have access to all of the best technologies, incapable. Am I talking to somebody tonight? Yeah, man, I'm saying like there's so much that we can put into perspective with this. You know, if the guy was saying that both countries could be doping, right? You cannot prove it, but it would be best to say that we are guilty by association. All right, we're both doping. Why is it that one result is so much better than the other result? You know what I mean? He should have proven something and said, all right, I found that the oxtail in America make you run faster, and then the yam in Jamaica make you run faster. Something like that would have been good, because a lot of people believe that Nightan Nightan oxtail made him. Nightan oxtail is similar to Flo Joe's special juice, because you know that oxtail was so special. But yeah, man, they were saying that the fastest man in the world conversation might have gone to a standstill at this point, because Michael Johnson chimed in and he said, "All right, let's put it to rest." Hey, last night I saw when I was on the chat, I saw a comment about Paris having a blackout. Woke up this morning, got on the computer, started to look all over. I saw some videos of some dark skies, but it just was not confirmation that there was a blackout in Paris. So not sure if anybody was able to confirm if there had been a blackout in Paris. I wasn't able to confirm. I saw where it was a social media conversation. It was the claims were on social media, but not picked up by mainstream media. Do you believe that there was a blackout? And if yes, do you believe that it could be that they're trying to keep it hush hush to make sure such an important world event is not seen in a more negative light than what it had been seen before? Brian Lowe, welcome to the live. Appreciate your comments. Please put some respect on SFP name. Wendy, that is no shade on you, but please do. I hope Janelle gave the US some tips. Hey, one thing I can tell you, the MVP took no chances with Janelle. They didn't even allow the other Jamaicans to be around them, yet alone Janelle. Janelle is in the Jamaica camp. They didn't allow the rest of Jamaicans. They're like, she is infested or infected. She's not coming near us. So I don't think she have a lot of info to share because she's still walking alongside Noah. I don't think she got enough info to share. What is SFP? It's super fast plane. It's super fast plane. Jacqueline Mason, welcome to the live. Appreciate your comment. Just checking in. Hi everyone. Say hi to Jackie. Everyone, appreciate it. The greatest female athlete ever. So there you go, Wendy. SFP is Shelley Ann Fraser Price, the fastest and probably the greatest female athlete ever. And while the world could debate it, Jamaica could debate whether or not she is the greatest female athlete ever because we do have a Elaine Thompson era. Elaine Thompson, when she's healthy and she's performing at her highest, at her best, she's greater than Shelley Ann Fraser Price in my eyes. Somebody else drop a comment down below. Let me know if you think that is true. It's a smaller night tonight. I'm gonna drop the link in the comments there, and if you're interested, you could join the live. It is no pressure, right? It's just if you are interested, you could join the live with your perspective, right? So yeah, I'm saying that the Shelley Ann Fraser Prize, potentially the greatest female athlete of all time, and I believe that she could also, we could also say that Elaine Thompson era, the greatest female athlete. Maybe one would want to limit it to Olympic history in the 100, 200, only because she had double at the Olympics, and that's in two Olympics. She doubled. She got the 100 and 200 meters in the two Olympics. She's the defending champion in 100 and 200 meters for this Olympics, but she will not be there. So naturally, we'll have a new champion in the 100 and the 200. But that's what that goes back to the point that I was making earlier. Jamaica having as many wins in Olympics for the better part of 20 years. Do you believe that they will be handing it over to anybody so easily? I believe you will have to take it by force, even if you are the fastest man or fastest woman going into the event. I don't believe that Stephen Francis, who had been the owner of the Olympic gold, or the MVP, which had been the owner of the Olympic gold for the female 100 and 200 for the longest time, will not allow it to be taken so easily. When they say, what's the fastest record for the female 100 meter? So the female 100 meter, the fastest time would have been from Florence Jarna, Flojo, they call her Flojo. She's an American. She ran the fastest time in the 100 meter, and I think that time is 10:43. I'll confirm right now. So in 1988, she ran the 200 meters in a record time of 21.34, and the 100 meters in a world record time of 10.49. That's the fastest time ever. The second fastest time would have been from Elaine Thompson era. Her time was, Elaine Thompson era time was 10:54. So Elaine was very close to that record, and that record is not broken, may not get broken anytime soon. But I believe that Elaine Thompson would have been the best chance for anyone to break that record because it was so close. It was 500 of a second from that. So Flojo record is 10.49, and Elaine ETH, they call her ETH, Elaine Thompson Hira, 10.54. Right? So like she doped. Well, according to it, it was the era of doping, and you know what? Let's face it. If you haven't really followed track and field and some of the speculations around doping, the US is the most popular for doping. They have various things that cause that there are various technologies. I heard that Tyson Gay, I'm not sure, allegedly Tyson Gay was doping using something external. He rubbed it on himself and it was good for the race. By the time he get down to the end and go to do that urine sample, it's done. All over. It's gone. It's not in the bloodstream. And the sample is usually taken through the urine. For example, we have at least three Jamaican athletes right now in this Olympics that will get a medal because US doped and they won the race. The Jamaican athletes would have gotten second, third, or fourth, and now they're reallocating the medals. They took the medals from the US athletes. Marianne Jones being one of them. Her baby father, maybe her husband, not sure. I can't remember his name. He was one of them as well. There are so many, and he was a world record holder at that time. The world record was 9.88, and it was doping that brought him to that level. Journey with Kelly Nissen, Wendy, that is a shady record too, very much so. It was considered to be this record that you're seeing with Elaine Thompson here. Some people recognize this as the true world record. They're saying that this is the true world record. And if that's the case, then Sherika Jackson would have also had the true world record as well for the 200 meters because she's the second fastest ever to run the 200 meter. Could it be just like Bolt? Hey, Wendy, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm just asking for a friend because I have a lot of friends, right? Do you know a guy called Rocky Hill? You guys, do you know him? John Kelly said, yes, she's suspected. Wendy, you're saying, I don't dispute USA is doping. I just need Jamaica to admit as well. What you're saying that misery love company? Misery love company. Tim Montgomery. Tim Montgomery. That's the person. He's parsley. Appreciate the comment. Is that the person? Drugsy and Marianne Jones. The US history of the thing is Jamaica had been running against people who had been jet up and gassed up for a very long time. It got to the point that they evolved. They evolved because they have been. You have human being running against superhuman, and then the superhuman had to stop using the jet fuel, and then because Jamaica had evolved to the point where they are, you find that they are just hard to beat. No, you'll have to. I think the best way for the US to beat the Jamaicans, and you can take this as a bit of extenogy, okay? I believe the US will have to choose some athletes and dope them up, and have other athletes that they don't allow to use dope, and let them run against them. So these athletes will have to run against some superhuman to get to the point where they go past a barrier, right? A barrier. That's how they will win. They'll have to either get some robots, set them to a specific time, and have the athletes run alongside them. That's where, because that's what Jamaica had to do. Jamaica had to run against the US athletes who were on jet fuel. And, at the end of it, nah, I don't. I don't know him. Yeah, man. Rocky Hill. He's always trying to find out the Jamaican secret as well. Yeah. He still couldn't find any. Soda, We Carl Lewis, and many more are despised. Yes. Yeah. John Wick Kingston, rewrite. Do you think the sport is much cleaner now, and they advance? They can't advance. They can't tell. I do believe that the sport at this point have a lot of technology involved. The tracks are designed for entertainment. The shoes, they are scientific. The uniform, they're also assisting with the relaxation of the body. I think the entire athlete and what they are wearing, where they are running, is technological. So the sports evolved. The athletes are not just running off of their own at this point. They are running assisted, but it's equal. The playing field is equal. The athletes are naturally quick, but they're held because you'll find that athletes would prefer to run on certain tracks versus other tracks. Some athletes would prefer to run using a specific spike versus a different spike because these are technology that enhance their performance. So their performance enhancement um, devices. So PDE could be performance enhancement devices and or performance enhancement drugs. That's my opinion. But it's equal. They are both using performance enhancement devices. The spikes, the uniform, the tracks, even the just how they train to repair their body very quickly so they could go out without fatigue. It could be cleaner, but it's more scientific at this point. And I believe Usain Bolt was exploiting the scientific side of it, while the US were exploiting the scientific side of it in different ways. Brandon Lou. Did you guys see the interview with the man who was creating the drugs, who was talking about it all? No, I did not. I didn't see that one at all. What was it about? Was he saying that it was undetectable? Was he saying that he was supplying some to the US, Canada, Africa, and Jamaica? Reluctantly asking for a friend. Yes, Balco. I'll have to look into that one. I'll have to look into that one, Wendy. He said the thing is Balco. I'll have to look into that one when I'm after the live for another time for my own knowledge. Brian Lowe, no, but could you tell more or where it can be found? US protect their track and field athlete in most cases, while for our own Jamaican, they don't. And I do believe this is true. The US athlete, the US, they are full patriots at all levels. The Jamaicans, they even those guys who are working in the administrative office would want to be celebrated as celebrities and stuff. So they would sink an athlete because even if you think about Christopher Taylor, right now we could have had a stronger 4x4 team. We could have had a stronger 400-meter team. We could have potentially had a 200-meter runner in Christopher Taylor because right now Jamaica is only using one athlete in the 400 meters. It's using only two athletes in the 200 meters. One of them is nowhere to be found. Christopher Taylor was literally banned without having any evidence that he was doing anything, and that was done by Jamaicans. And if it was the US, they would have protected him. For the US, they probably would have kept the entire team oxtail and call it a dinner. But in Jamaica, they would ban every cow. Jamaica is something else. Jamaica is, hey, I don't know if I'm pivoting here, but I do believe that the Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association, they have a point to prove. And when I see coaches like Stephen Francis and Glenn Mills, who are elite coaches in elite organizations in Jamaica, fighting back and putting up resistance against them, I appreciate it because the Jamaica, the J3A is are getting success. They're getting success that they don't earn for themselves. They have been failing athletes all over the place, and they have been penalizing athletes quite heavily for absolutely no reason. And then when the athletes are successful, they go out and get photo ops, take pictures, make promises, and wait for the next championship. But despise J3A, Jadco, with no apology. And I can imagine a lot of athletes had lost their entire dream because of some of the blunders by these organizations. So JADCO is where they would test the athletes for drugs. And I honestly, some of these athletes, I do believe that the organizations like J3A and JADCO, they envy some of these athletes. That's just my opinion because these athletes have been working extremely hard, right? Some of them, they reluctantly, okay, getting drug tested is a part of the sport. But sometimes they consider it intrusive or it's too frequent. They want to do it, but just let the process be different. They want to creep up on you at any time of the night. You can't enjoy your life. It's like you're being punished because you have a good talent. And some of these organizations, they're the ones that punish them the most. This is part of the interview, the Balco guy, I think. This part of the interview, the Balco guy. I'll have to take in this interview. I'll have to watch it at some point to get an understanding of it. But I can imagine it being something similar to what Jamaica have. The only thing about Jamaica and why Jamaica have very few scandals or very few positive drug tests on the international scene is because the testing procedures in Jamaica is quite rigorous. It's very difficult for you to get past the Jamaican screen. The Jamaican, what they will test you before you go to bed and when you wake up. If you dream about doping, they will know. Wendy, you cannot escape JADCO. They know when you dream about doping, and that's 3-year ban. Can you say the same for the USA? Can you say the same? But as I was saying before, I really do believe that they punish some of the most promising athletes. Christopher Taylor was one of those young prodigies out of Jamaica. He represented at a very high level during the ISA Boys and Girls Champs. That's one of the first places that you'll see some stars coming out of Jamaica, the ISA Boys and Girls Champs. And because some of these athletes had been performing at such a high level so early, some of them, they would get burnt out, literally can't make it to the senior stages. And as a result, you'll see that you won't hear from them, but some of the testing that they get, it also could be the reason why they get kicked out of the sport. They get so much test so frequently to the point that it's like you're trying to find something and then you find it. I'm going to put something up on the screen here very quickly, right? Let's see if we can make this any bigger. Can it be bigger? Still small. But what it's really showing here is that in the 100 meter, we have Akim Blake, Oblique Civil, and Kishane Thompson. We all know about those. But in the 200 meter, we only have Andrew Hudson and Brian Lavelle. We only have 2 athletes representing Jamaica in the 200 meters, and we're allowed 3 athletes. We're allowed 3 athletes, but we only have 2. And we could have had more because we have the athletes who could represent. We also failed to make the 4x4 team. I wonder if they look back at things like these and say that, you know what, we contribute to some of the decline in the sport because Jamaica is not represented in the 4x4 for men. But Christopher Taylor, who I think would have been he was number 30 in the world, or 32 in the world when he got in the problem with JADCO. It was probably 2 years ago. He got banned for 2 or 3 years. We may not see him again in the history of sport, or we may see him again. I don't know. And for some of these athletes, to the extent that they suffer, some of them would look to switch allegiance to a different country. Wendy's saying, I think Jamaica is very good, hands down, but all over the world, there's always someone ahead of the drug game, including Jamaica and the USA. Wendy, I don't know if you ever heard the term before. Misery. Misery. Love company. It's true. Well, the good thing about it is that you'll never know the truth. You will never know the truth. Even Noah Lyles, he has a Bond girl, and she did not disclose anything about that. I strongly don't believe any country can say they are 100% dope free. I think if you're not caught, then you can say anything. But I do believe that Jamaica have a history of not being. They haven't been found to be a drug a drug country. So whatever they are doing, I believe the US need to learn from them because nobody's trying to learn from what the US had done. Nobody is trying to learn from what the US had done at all. So, Edward, welcome to the live. Appreciate the comment. Oh, Jamaica is definitely doping, no doubt about that. Wendy, did you call your brother? Huh? How do you know Wendy, Edwin? And when Edwin, how do you know Wendy? They always say it's the food they eat in front of blah blah blah, but they are juicing, and you guys are hot stealing. You guys are hot stealing. It's parsley. It's very disheartening to say the least. Emotional trauma afterwards. Definitely, the athletes have to fail because of the organization. Whether they fail because they didn't write their names, whether they failed because they are being penalized for something that they didn't do. Whatever the situation is, they are going to be. It's going to create a problem. However, they are feeling, it's going to create a problem. So Edwin is a troller. And he's definitely familiar with Wendy at this point. If we have to remember that some of the drugs on the ban list don't work. Example, weed that Shakari got busted for. There you go. Because really and truly, Jamaica was using weed for most people, even the Rastas who are using weed. Weed is a sedative, and sedatives really slow you down. It doesn't make you go faster unless you're going too fast and you're trying to slow down. He's backing you up. But no, Jamaica doesn't dope. And if Jamaica is doping, you guys need to learn from Jamaica because you guys are getting caught doping and we are not. Mr. Rose Smith, Edwin, if JA doping, then USA is a 1,000,000,000% doping. And the funny thing about it is that Jamaica, such a small country, it's a small planet on the earth. Because at this point, Jamaica is a planet. I've seen it and I've proved it. Jamaica is a small planet in this earth. But the USA is a massive country with millions and millions and millions, best scientists from all over the world. Sometimes I wonder if it's really the USA, like United States of America, or it's the USW, United States of the world, because they take scientists from everywhere. They take scientists from everywhere, technology from everywhere, and if they can't put together a good doping regime, if they can't put together a good drug that is undetectable, then they deserve whatever they got. Because if Jamaica, without the labs for it, if Jamaica, without the money for it, is putting together athletes that is considered to be doping and it's undetectable, why is it that US cannot do the same? You have seen where Jamaica are willing to switch allegiance. Why haven't they gotten a scientist to switch allegiance and teach them how to build the drug and expose them? The money is there. They'll pay for it. And Jamaicans, they love money. So even though you have a lot of Jamaicans who are full patriots, they would probably take the money and a little land space in America when they say, we sure need to learn from Jamaica. Y'all need to teach us. We already gave you Janelle, and you gave her back. So if you hadn't learned anything from Janelle, who are you gonna learn from? Janelle is there. She's in Noah's camp. Noah is James Bond, and she's a Bond girl in a Bondy world. Yeah, man. I don't believe that the US should be do better with their doping. They're getting caught, and it's like they're assembling all dopers. Dennis Mitchell is assembling all dopers. How do you feel about that, Edwin? Junelle is so in love. I watched them today. I was like, I saw she post something on her TikTok. I was saying, this is definitely yin and yang because she's in black, he's in white. They're holding hand. They're both wearing matching nail polish. But how do you feel about the matching nail polish, Wendy? How do you feel? Mr. Rose, Jamaica is not doping. If you ever worked around Jamaica, lived around Jamaica, they're very hardworking, almost to a fault, very dedicated people. Yesterday I was talking to a friend of mine, right? And I knew him for the past going on 15 years. And when I first knew him, his daughter was a baby girl. He was working in America. That's where I met him. Now he's living in Canada. And he was working in America, sending money back home. You know, it's a part of how it works. The plantation is still going on. We have to travel and then send the money back and all of that, right? My friend was telling me that his daughter, naturally gifted, she came from Jamaica, right? She is in Canada. She was playing basketball, so gifted. She was winning all kind of trophies all over the place. She tried out the long jump and high jump, and she jumped 180 meters in the high jump. 19 years old. She wasn't trained for it. She jumped 180 meters. Number 20 in the under 20 category. For a person who was never trained, she jumped that. Just showing off that she can jump high. Right? She moved from Jamaica to Canada. That's what she did. She's definitely not a doper. Because some household in Jamaica, some things are just not even allowed. She automatically got called for the the Canada national team, training with them now, and they're preparing her for the next World Championship just by her natural jump. So in Jamaica, because in America they see, all right. So I've seen a few things happening in America, right? If you look at most people, in the middle section, it's wrong because we sit a lot in America. If you're gonna drive, depending on your job, you're sitting down a lot driving. If you're working, you're sitting down a lot working. And when you get home, you're sitting down a lot. In Jamaica, you walk a lot. A lot of people in Jamaica still don't have a car. So they're continuously in motion. And it's like exercising. Even some of the athletes who are at the top in Jamaica, the only reason why they're at the top is because they got discovered. There are people in Jamaica who have never gotten discovered, fitter, faster, stronger, and all of that. They just didn't get discovered. Jamaica is a place where people are naturally just strong. And I've seen a coach in Jamaica explained one of the reasons why Jamaica is what Jamaica is. I'll read this comment real quick. Matching nail polish, I mean, as long as they're happy. As long as they're yin and yang, right? Somebody have to be the prettier one in that kind of dynamics, Wendy. Somebody have to be the prettier one. Edwin is saying, most athletes work hard. Hard work is not an ethic unique to Jamaicans. That is true. All right, let me get back to the point then. So I was watching Craig Butler. He's a football coach. I would say that he would be the football coach that would rival Stephen Francis as a track and field coach. He created a club where he developed some footballers from a young age and they became pretty good, right? So he was explaining that the reason why Jamaicans are what they are and who they are is because of where we are located in on the route in the slave trade, or where we are located, not where we are. It was the end. It was a prison planet. As I said, Jamaica is a planet. Jamaica was a prison planet. The most unruly slaves traveling from West Africa was dropped off in Jamaica. The kings and the queens and all of those people who have knowledge, who could rebuild a society, they were dropped off there. And as a result, you're talking about the the best and most rebellious and strongest, fittest, most determined people out of the slave trade being dropped off at the same place, breeding and becoming who they are. So the strong will is already engraved in the Jamaicans. I'm not saying that it's unique to Jamaica, but there's an influx of those rebels in Jamaica. As a result, you have some of the strongest, bravest, and most un how would I put it? I want to say uncompromising, but are disagreeable people in the world. So there you go. So it's not unique to Jamaicans, but they are activating something else when they train. So nice. Thank you, Edwin. Wendy, that only proves that you do know Edwin. You're welcome. Well, Edwin must be the yin to your young Wendy. But we always running and walking brisk uphill and a lot of walking. Remember, most people do not have a car, a personal car. They'll be taking a taxi. When they get off that taxi, they will be walking a good distance to their house, maybe up a hill. It's just a different kind of environment. Jamaica have to do a lot of work. They have to do a lot of work to get our small routine together, you know. In Jamaica, we just had a Hurricane Beryl. And after that hurricane passed, in America, you'd have tractors and all kind of stuff clearing the road. It was a coalition of people coming together from their community, going up with machetes and just clearing the road, cleaning out the stuff off the road. And little by little, they got back on track. Not saying that some places didn't use the modern equipment, but you know, Jamaicans are naturally hardworking, and because of the disposition, we have a lot of similar strong-minded and strong-willed people there. So yeah, the blackout, Edwin. Yeah, you're saying Jamaicans is not unique to Jamaicans. We found you out, Wendy. Why are you laughing? We found that Edwin is a yin to your yang, agreeing on the same stuff. Yeah, man. So prediction. Do you think that if should the 100-meter woman, do you think it's wide open, or do you think that it's just for Shakari to win, it's for Sharika to win, and the third place is up for grabs? So how do you feel about this one? Do you believe that it is just? How do you guys feel about it, really? My thought on that is that it is really for Shakari to lose. The 100 meters for Shakari to lose. I do believe that Sharika is under the radar. We don't know anything about her, don't know what's going on with her. So if she really come together with a good race, then it would be history. If she's fit, if she's in the form that we saw from her in 2022, then it will be over. It's very difficult to confirm or to choose the 100-meter for men or women. Very difficult. Well, for the men, it's a little bit easier because Thompson looks good, and he had looked good leading up to now. Unless he picked up an injury in training or something, he looks good. So I would like to say it's a gold medal for Thompson, especially if he could execute similar to what he did in the rounds at the trials. And if he is able to replicate that in the Olympics, who will beat him? Honestly, who will beat Kishane Thompson if he's able to replicate what he did at the trial? I'm sure that they are gearing him up to do it. Wendy said, "My time is up. It's been nice, my friend. Until next time, God's willing. Appreciate you stopping by, Wendy. And I should appreciate all your interaction, your comment. You made it fun. Thank you so much." Edwin, no, it's Shakari. Then the rest. I think Alfred and Sharika in that order. Why would you believe that Alfred automatically is so much better than Sharika? No. What has Alfred really completed that would put her ahead of Sharika? I can understand when you said Shakari is ahead of Sharika because we have seen Shakari running past Sharika various times. It was always for her to if Sharika is lined up against Shakari, I believe Sharika might lose. I do believe that somebody new who is on under the radar, even somebody like Shelly and Fraser Price is not really under the radar, but nobody's banking on her to win. Even Jefferson could beat Shakari because Jefferson is so hungry, right? But it's not just Jefferson who is hungry, but Shakari, if she executes the correct race, she will win. But what would make Alfred beat Sharika? What has she done? What times has she run that would put her in that league to beat Sharika? Sharika is losing to Shakari because Shakari is just fast. He's running her down and running past her. But Alfred, as determined and as strong as she is, she have a few hurdles to pass before she can get to Sharika, in my opinion. They're saying again that one of Sharika problem, she is not race aware in the way she should be. Probably this is what I wanted to. You explained this exactly how I was thinking about it. You articulated so well. She is really not aware about her environment when she's running. She don't know where everybody is, and she's so focused on running. She need to run like she wants to just finish that race and finish ahead of everybody else. She's an athlete who slows down as well because I guess it's just the way how the training system is at the MVP. They don't run through the full system. They run parts of the race, and that's how their body is. Unless the coach said, "All right, guys, today you are going to run 100%." I guess they don't do it, and sometimes they forget. But I do not believe that Sharika is aware around of her surrounding. To be very honest with you, and if she's running and somebody's catching up to her, I wonder if she's in the frame of mind that says, "You know what? It's okay. I can always. This is just a round. Um, Next time I'll beat her." You know what I mean? I just don't know if she is always trying to win, and I don't believe that she's trying to not win. But sometimes I wonder if she's really trying to win. Edwin is saying Alfred is more consistent this year. Unless Sharika is in good shape in Paris, she's not beating Alfred. And I can agree. I do believe that Alfred had been very, very good this year. She won against Sharika in that 200 meter where Sharika seemed to have had an injury. And I think that she used that win as a motivation because the run that she had against Gabby Thomas, it showed that she believed that she could have beaten Gabby Thomas. And I even believe that in that race, she could have beaten Gabby Thomas. Gabby was just really good. It's what? 48, 80. No, sorry. It's 21:82 and 21:86. So it's not like it was just so close. But I believe that she was trying to beat Dina Asher Smith. And after she ran past Dina Asher Smith and she knew that she was beating her, she started to relax a little bit. And then when she saw Gabby Thomas, she started to try again to push, but it was too late. And you could see the smile. She was laughing like, "Oh man, you got me." So Gabby Thomas had been consistent, but I just do not know for sure that Sherika Jackson, we haven't seen a good race from her at all. I was looking at the 200 meters for women, right? Because I really was trying to figure out what's going on with the Jamaica team. I was trying to figure out what was going on because at least two of the athletes on the Jamaica team in the 200 meters, they will not medal. If they win in any of the races, they will do well to win in those races. That's Shakari, Boogie, man. So, when I was looking at the 200 meters, probably I'll just share it so we could look at it together, right? So, I was looking at the 200 meters for women. And I was saying that if you look at it, Gabby Thomas is number one with 21.78. She did not run that time in the race that we saw. She ran that time at some other time, but she ran 21.82 in that race at the Diamond League. And Julian Alfred ran a season best and a personal best and a national record, 21.86. Good time, very, very good time. And Mackenzie Long is running a faster time than her in the 200, right? She's also a part of the US team. But if you look at the list here, this is just US, St. Lucia, US, Dina Asher Smith, Great Britain, US, Great Britain, Darrell Nita, and then at number 18, you'll see Sherika Jackson and Brianna Liston. So Sherika Jackson have a very, very slow time going in. Is this something that is deliberate? I'm wondering. Sometimes I wonder if they're just trying to take the pressure off, the attention off. I don't know. Because if what we're seeing from the times and stuff, I could agree with Edwin saying that Sherika could lose to Alfred, because if we had gone over to the 100, Alfred is also ahead of Sherika in the 100, so she's ahead in the 100 and the 200. But just going from history, knowing what the fastest time is for Sherika, stuff like that, I would still have to put Sherika ahead, even ahead of Shakari, depending in the 100, depending on the form that she's in. And we have seen where she ran about a month ago. She ran about a month ago and then went back into training. None of the MVP athletes had ran for more than a month now. They all went into training for the Olympics. And out of Jamaica, the MVP camp is the best camp with where Olympics is concerned. Outside of Usain Bolt, nobody else had been doing it like the MVP camp. Mr. Rose Smith said before Sherika pulled up in the 200 meter, she had passed Alfred. That is true. She passed Alfred and then she was starting to accelerate and then she stopped. Because we all know that she would have also got the instruction from the coach that says, you know what, if you feel like any niggle, stop. Judith Killing is saying that's her personal best. It is Alfred's personal best. Nothing close to Sherika Jackson's personal best. So we all know that Sherika Jackson at her best is way ahead of everybody, including Gabby Thomas. Let's see what the 100 meters says, right? In the 100 meters, we have Shakar Richardson, 9.71, the fastest this year. We have Sears, also from the US, second fastest. I'm sorry, 10.71 and then 10.77. Alfred, 10.78, the third fastest. Melissa Jefferson, the fourth fastest with 10.80. Sherika Jackson, 10.84. And Tia Clayton, 10.80. 6 on this list. Shelley and Fraser Price is 1091. So the Jamaicans are not really showing us anything special. Not anything special. But just going off of history and the preparation could suggest that these guys are in a good spot because they had a month to prepare. Other athletes could be ahead of them. Julian Alfred really had been running enough races to get her body in racing shape. Obviously, they are training continuously. It's for them to, I don't know. I know that Julian Alfred is really a good athlete. I do bank on her winning something, but she will have to take the number 3 spots in both races by force. Edwin true, but if healthy, she can win the 100 meter too. If Sherika is healthy, it's gonna be hard for Shakari. Shakari will Shakari. It's for Shakari to lose. If she lose that race, it's because she probably want to lose it, or she just cave under pressure, or she just choke. Because remember, right before the last Olympics, they were hyping her up to be the greatest and the best, and she failed. She actually didn't even go to the Olympics, and she literally seemed like she was broken, but she came back. I remember Elaine Thompson was one of those people outspoken, and during her interview, she was saying, "Leave her alone, let her focus, leave her alone, let her focus on being an athlete." You know what I mean? So at the end of it all, I believe that Shakari is a little bit stronger now, but is she strong enough for the big day? And her coach, I'm sure that he's preparing her for the big day, but Stephen Francis is also preparing everybody in his camp for the big day. I remember he was making a statement. He was saying that we don't have any waste athlete. There is no loose athlete going to the Olympic out of my camp. If the athlete made the Olympic team, they're going there to medal. And when you're seeing a coach who has had as much success at the Olympic and has had enough experience, he's not just gonna say that out of nowhere. He's expecting that the athlete that he's bringing there will be medaling. And a lot of people are saying that the 2008 Olympics is similar to what we're seeing in this one. They're expecting similar results from the 2008 Olympics, like what they saw from the 2008 Olympics, because the 2008 Olympics was somewhat of a resurgence, or the building of a dynasty, and we are literally having a dying dynasty. We saw Usain Bolt, he went, and we are seeing a resurgence of the 100-meter men. We haven't really seen a resurgence of the 200-meter yet, but we have seen a resurgence of the 100-meter men. All Oblique Civil said all three men could medal if they execute properly, and that is true. It's not going to be easy, but it is true. The 200-meter is Sherika bread and butter. Once she's healthy and race ready, with the right mindset, she will dominate and probably could even get a world record, because the Olympic have a prediction for a world record that could get broken, and the 200 meter is one such record that they're expecting to get broken in the Olympics. Jaden Ibert in the triple jump is another record they're expecting that will get broken by Jaden Ibert, or Jaden Ibert. So they do have their own predictions and speculations. Shakari is much more stronger mentally. It is clear to see, and it's evident because she's not going around saying that she's the fastest and she's trying to hype up anything. She's a little bit more reserved, and I expect that she's training behind the scenes to get herself race ready and in tip top shape for the big day. I do believe that it is Shakari Richardson race to lose, but with the experience, Shelly and Fraser Price still running, still in the mix, and still running sub 11, not knowing what she's fully capable of, not pushing her body to go to where she don't want it to go. She still have a chance, because she pulled out of a meet leading up to the Olympics, and who knows, if she had gone through that meet, she probably would have had to pull out of the Olympics. And now at the Olympics, if she's able to get a full round out of those legs and a perfect race that she said all it takes is one good race. If she's able to get that one good race in the finals, we could get a gold out of Shelly and Fraser Price, because we have seen her running, and if she get the start that she's looking for, you cannot take it back. You will not take it back. That start that she gets, when she gets it and she pulls out her head and the head is out like this, the mouth is like, you know, I don't know if I do it right, but she have that mouth and she push out and she have the head out. You won't catch her. It doesn't matter who you are. You won't catch her. And a lot of people will be surprised. These athletes are not just trained physical, they're trained mentally. And you can see it. You can see it all the time. They talk, they just how they are prepared. And I believe that the biggest surprise will come from the MVP camp. Whether it's a positive or a negative surprise, I just don't believe they're gonna just leave us with an ordinary experience, some surprises coming from that camp. Because there is absolutely no way that you could have an entire Olympic team and a camp within the team. You have absolutely no knowledge of what's going on in the media while you have knowledge of the other camps. You know what I mean? SFP, that SFP will never underestimate the heart of a champion. My point exactly. You cannot underestimate Shelley and Fraser Price under no circumstances, because she also is saying that she is banking on experience. She's not just banking on fitness and speed. She's banking on experience. And if she's able to get to the finals while still having a lot of energy reserved, it will be very good. And for those of us who have been concerned about the the relays, the relays right now they would have some opportunity to train for the relays because Olympics started and we're in day 3, and we still have another August 2nd, right? We still have another 5 days, another full 5 days before the athletes take to the field. So a lot of training is still being conducted. And after the athletes complete their training and they complete their events, then they will have another 5 days or more to prepare for just relays, to just unwind, to get their body fresh and prepare for the relays. So much is at stake, but they have so much time. If they manage it properly, they should be able to pull together, get that relay. And I do not believe, or maybe it's just I don't want to believe that the relays will have the same result like what we saw at the World Championship, because that was a humiliating defeat from the USA. I don't believe the women will have the same luck beating, and I'm not going to say it's luck, but I don't believe they will have the same result. They won't beat Jamaica the same way. Another thing that we should note here is that the 10-7-1 was that Shakari ran. She ran it at Hayward Field in Eugene, Oregon. That field is probably one of the fastest fields in the world. Athletes go to that field just to run personal best and season best. This is a field which is technologically advanced. So, however you look at this, she is very fast, but is it reflecting a true natural time? That's another one, another question. Because Jefferson, he also had her season best at that field at the same time. But it is also a field that was designed for the very fast times. Brian Lewis saying any Jamaican relay team with Forbes will only be running for bronze. You don't respect Sashali at all. I think Nugent will be covering Forbes. But from what I saw on the World Athletics, it seems like Forbes will be the one to run in the finals of the relay. I'm not sure if that's the case, but it seems like Forbes should be running the finals of the relay. I'm sure that if they're going to look for the victory, they will have to do something about their lineup. And the lineup, I just don't want. I think the USA have such a strong team. I don't like the way how we lost to them. I don't like the way how we lost to them, but I do believe that if we have in Tia, we have a good relay runner. She's one of the runners on the 4x1 relay world record time for the under 19. So she knows what it takes to run a relay. Shelley and Fraser Price and Sharika, they have been running relays for a long time. It's just to fill in that other spot. Nugent or Alana Reid. Alana Reid had been training exclusively for that to run. So we'll see. And I'm sure if Alana Reid is running fast enough, then she might be the one to run that finals. We never know. Hopefully, they put together the best possible team. Jeremy Killen says Shakari and Sherika 100 times are the same. A smell of revenge is if Sherika is healthy. All right. Edwin is saying for the 4x1 women relay, US is winning it. But Jamaica should be careful about the Great Britain relay team. They are in good shape and might beat Jamaica to second place. They are in good shape. And it seems like they are preparing for the relay because I think they know that it's a long shot for them to get individual medal and they would want to leave with a strong medal. Because I've seen where Nita was training and she looked like she was really preparing for the relays. They have Dina Asher Smith, they have Nita, and in the list that I was looking at, both Dina Asher Smith and both Dina Asher Smith and Daryl Nita is in the list for the Great Britain team. And it just really comes down to the technology. I saw where somebody was explaining that in the relays, the changeover zone, that 30, I think it's 30 meter, that 30-meter section there, you can change over wherever you want. So they could literally practice to change over so that the two strongest athletes get to run the longest amount of time. For example, Adina Asher Smith and Darren Nita could run 110, 20 meters while the other athletes run 90 each. And that would put them in a better lead. But I do believe that the Jamaica team will need to put together a good training session and get some cohesiveness going and get their best athletes out there. But I also believe that with the amount of time that they will have, with most of them not running the 200 meters, the only athlete running 100 and 200 is Sherika. So I believe the Jamaica team will have a lot of time to train. And again, once they have the mission in mind, it will work out. I'm going to ask you this one, Edwin. How do you feel about the 4x1? Do you believe that the 4x1 is a done deal for the US? Or do you believe the Jamaica team will create some kind of problem for them? I personally believe that the Jamaica team is a better group of guys than the US team. I do believe that. But they do have Christian Coleman, Fred Curley, Noah Lyles, Benerick. You know, they do have Knighton. They have a lot of guys who could run some good times. But the Jamaica team have they have, all right. So Brian Lavelli did not make it to the team. But I do believe that Brian Lavelli is faster now than Akeem Blake. But Akeem Blake is fast. We haven't really seen a lot from him. We had seen him and Noah Lyles in the same race where he also ran a sub 10. But Brian Lavelle's sub 10 is equivalent to what he ran, to what Akeem Blake ran in that race. And he's training harder now, more determined now. So we could expect a good race from Brian Lavelle as well. So that relay team for the men, do you guys think that it is a done deal for the US? Because on paper right now, the US should be taking that 4x1. The US should be taking that 4x1 man and woman. But do you believe that they will be upset? Because if they don't win, then it would be considered an upset. Brian Lewis saying she is not faster than none of the Americans. Who is not faster than any of the Americans? Is it Sherika? But this year she's not faster. Oh, Forbes is not faster than any of the Americans. That is true. And they would have to just get a person who is good enough. And I think that Alana Reid, we haven't really seen the best of her, but we know she's a sub 11 runner. If we can get a sub 11 out of her, it will be good. We need Sherika on the third leg to match stride with Gabby and Tia on the anchor. She is the best relay. She is a beast on relay. And funny enough, she was the anchor for the under 20. even with her sister Tina being the faster of the two during that time frame, she was still the anchor. So it suggests that she is a real beast on the relays. I do believe that she's a relay runner. Um, at that time, they had Brianna Liston, I think. They had Brianna Liston in the lineup. So it was three: Edwin Allen, Serena Cole, Tia, the Clayton twins, and Brianna Liston. And we saw the record gotten broken twice, even though they took it from them, they broke it again. Janet Kelly said, why? On paper, the US has better times and guys. Well, I do believe that the Jamaican team have two extremely fast runners that would that is in good shape and probably faster than all of the American guys. Two of them. So with those two being on there, they could make up grounds. Not gonna be easy, but they could make up ground. And with Akeem Blake, he's very he's just gonna run a single leg. We're expecting a good time from him as well. He could match who would he match? He could match one of them. So he would still be keeping up the pace. It would be for the fourth person that would kind of be the tiebreaker. And depending on how the changeover is done in the final leg, the Jamaica team could definitely upset the US team. Because if it's close enough and it's Kishan on the final leg, I'm sure that he could match stride with any of the US athletes and even pass some of them. So Edwin, you're saying it's a done deal for the US. If they put Tia in the anchor position, Shakari will eat her up. Sharika must keep it close if she anchor. But Shakari is typically as Sharika number. I really wouldn't want to see Sharika and Shakari unless Sharika is trying to prove something. Because I've seen Sharika and Shakari so many times, and Sharika could not keep up with Shakari. All right, even during the time when we were saying that Sharika is in top form, running 10-6, she was still losing to Shakari. Shakari just ran past her, and it just looked so pitiful. But we were all saying that, you know what? She's going to come back. She'll figure it out. She didn't figure it out. Shakari really does have Sharika number. And I really don't believe that she would have the confidence to just run away from Shakari. I believe she would lock up, but that's in theory because she's an MVP athlete and they are trained for the big moments. They are not really the athletes who are trained to. They are trained for diamond leagues and big moments, yes. But I think they are mostly trained for the big moments because that's what put the coaches in the history book alongside these athletes. And this is Olympics, so I'm expecting that they would have been getting the tutelage that is necessary for them to come out and shine on the big moment. Edwin is saying, I think for Jamaica men, I can't say because we haven't seen them run before. On a good day, I think the Jamaican team can win. You guys have the personnel to beat the team USA, and that's the same thing. General Kelly was asking, why do I think that Jamaica could beat the US? It's only because of the fact that we have two athletes who could cut into whatever lead is made by the US athletes. So you could definitely see Coleman and Akeem Blake getting similar times, right? And then whoever we bring in for whatever leg, let's say Benerick and them matching stride for stride, even if Benerick was to get ahead of them a little bit, we would see where they're either catching up or they are we are catching up because Oblique Seville, I'm expecting, could match stride for stride with a Fred Curley as he is now and even run faster than him because we're seeing a more consistent Oblique Seville than a Fred Curley right now. And Noah Lyles being on, let's say he's on the final leg and we see a Kishan Thompson on the final leg. Kishan Thompson, how it is right now, I want to think that he's faster than Noah Lyles. I want to think that he's faster than everybody else and much faster as well. So, yes, I do believe that the Jamaica men team could beat the US team. The issue is that these guys they are going out there to win. They're not going to give anything for free. The US won't give anything for free. Jamaicans won't give anything for free. We're trying to predict it now, and I'm sure that after the races, we will be saying different things. We're gonna be making excuses, and in the worst case scenario, a Jamaican doesn't win and a US athlete doesn't win. We're gonna be on the same page. We're gonna be like, at least it's not the US that won, because let's face it, this is a rivalry at this point. Though, even if I don't win, I just don't want the US to win. That's where the rivalry is right now. But because let's say, for example, you had a panel of athletes from, let's say, Italy, or a panel of judges from Italy, and they're predicting the outcome of the Olympics right now for the 100 meter for men and women, you will see that it's a little bit more balanced than if it was some predictions coming out of some analysts from the USA or Jamaica. Jamaica will always find a way to get to squeeze in at least two of their athletes. The US would want to find a way to squeeze in at least two of their athletes. A person from Italy will say, well, Marcel Jacobs, he's the Olympic champion, so we're expecting that he's going to be in the medal somewhere. I don't know how, but it's going to be there. But that Kishen guy is unbeatable, and that Noah guy talks a lot, but Oblique is going to beat him because of you'll be a little bit more balanced at that point, I think. As Parsley is saying, relays are always a tricky situation. We have seen relays started and not finish as well compared to a individual race. You'll find one person messing it up and everybody else have to just shake their heads. I've seen the US messing up a lot. If they're able to bring it together, because that's probably their biggest thing, messing up their relays. And the USA, the Jamaica team, I've seen them mess up as well. But we do have a lot on the line, and the team being compared to the 2008 team, I'm still waiting to see what that means. I want to see what it means by this team remind us of the 2008 team, because that 2008 team was the beginning of a dynasty. From that 2018, we saw Usain Bolt, Shelley and Fraser Price. We saw a lot of different athletes, but those are the two that stands out the most. Edwin is saying, for now, the 4x1, I will go with the USA, Italy, and then Jamaica. Is that for the men? Jamaica in third, because I don't think they will have enough time to gel in the relay. It's not just about speed, but how the button move. You're talking about the women or the men. It's very difficult it's hard to determine which team will take it. In the 4x1, Jamaica really is not the team that look to produce at the highest level in the 4x1. Oh, for the men. Okay. The last time Jamaica ran a good 4x1, they won the Olympic gold and they set the world record. That was Usain Bolt, Johan Blake, Asafa Powell, and who was it? Was it Michael Frater? However, whoever it was, they trained a lot together because it was the end of Usain Bolt's career and they wanted him to go out with the 3 golds. They wanted him to go out with the 100 gold, 200 gold, and a 4x1 gold. And I'm sure that they would have put the training in. The athletes, they lived in Jamaica, the 2 universities, the Races Track Club and the MVP Track Club. It's about within 2 miles apart. They are not very far apart. One is at the University of Technology, one at the University of the West Indies. And they are very close. So it would be easy for them to just organize some training. The way how it is now, just seeing how the MVP is operating now, even in Paris, I can imagine them not being accessible to the entire team. But I'm banking on the completion of the events for them to decide to train, and I'm hoping they will gel fast enough because they do have the speed for it. And if the baton goes around well, they will win. And I do believe that the US team, well, they are training. They had been training for the relays because they're trying to get some history under their belt as well. So I can see where you're coming from with that one. As Parsley is saying, they were a cohesive unit back then, the men. Yeah, even Justin Gatlin had said it. He saw them working together. But you see, how do you feel about the athletes going out in the street and they are actively working together? They look so friendly. All of them look very friendly. The guys and the girls walking, mingling. It looked like a good field trip. You don't look like you have some elite athletes who are just snobbish. It's a bunch of young athletes, very talented, very eager, very hungry. Seems like they know what the assignment is and they are looking to put on a good show. That's what I'm seeing from the Jamaicans in Paris right now. They have a little cohesiveness going on. I don't know if if the same is true for training. I've seen some training, they look quite focused in training, like they know exactly what the mission is in training. But I don't know what they are doing in terms of relay training, but as a group of people, it look like they like each other. It look like they are comfortable with each other. And that is where we can get good results from them because as people, they look like they enjoy the company of their Jamaican team. The team Jamaica look like they're enjoying each other's company. We haven't really seen anything that is divisive, and I'm sure the divisiveness could be there. But what we had seen from like a Shelley and Fraser and Ellen, without anything being said, was quite obvious that they were divided. They weren't friends at all. The way that the guys are grouping up and moving around in Paris right now, it look like they are friends. I believe that they are. It's a good enough look at the moment. It's a good enough look. So hopefully they can gel together soon enough, and then they can pull together because this is what the country need. I hope that somebody is kind of telling them that they should do it for the country, do it for what Hurricane Burrell did. Edwin is saying in the 4x4 women relay, US is taking first, but do you think Jamaica can take the second place, or the Dutch or Polish team will come in second? I do believe that Jamaica will take second. And in some cases, they could give you a run for your money in the 400 meter because there's always a sleeper cell in Jamaica. You see that Nikisha Price, she's the leader there. It's gonna be hard for Jamaica to beat. It's gonna be hard for Jamaica to beat the US because the US have so many sub 50 runners. We only have one sub 40. We only have one sub 49 runner at the moment. The US have almost all their athletes are sub 50. We have Stacey and Williams a 50, like almost a flat 50, and Junel Bromfield almost close to a sub 50. Number two will be going to the US. I don't know how determined they are. Number two will be going. All right. So Jamaica are the US. I want to say it's a toss up. I want to say it's a toss up at this point because they do have. Let's say that they're gonna have Sydney McCatlin going up against Nikisha Price. Sydney will probably get. It's gonna be hard. Yeah, it's definitely a US for the win and Jamaica for the second in this one because even with Poland having Natalia Kazmarek, she's the second. She's the silver medalist from the World Championship. I don't know if they have a full team. And Jamaica is not just going off speed at the moment. They're going off trying to be historic. So they have a Paris mission. I'm going with Jamaica for the I'm going with Jamaica for the second place and probably Dutch for the third, not Poland. Dutch for the third. But if you're talking about the flat 400 meters, I want to say that it's still Jamaica for the win in the flat 400 because of what Nikisha Price had been doing. And I I do believe that it's a toss up between Adeleke and Natalia Kazmeric. It's for one of them to take it. Paulino, by the way, Paulino, I missed her. Paulino. It's for Paulino, Adeleke, and Kazmeric to get. So maybe Paulino for the silver and between Adeleke and Kazmeric for the bronze. But I do believe Jamaica should take the 400 based on the form that we're seeing from Nikisha and the consistency as well, because she had run those times twice. She had run the sub 48 twice within a month time. Hopefully she didn't peak already. There you go. Don't sleep on Great Britain. Is that for the 400 or the 100? You are correct about sleeping on Great Britain. You are very much correct because Great Britain right now, just in terms of times, they have three athletes, four athletes actually running. Well, two of them sub 50 and two of them flat 50. Right there, the 4x4 that just became a different conversation. The 4x4, you could see Great Britain. I'm still banking on Jamaica getting second in the 4x4, and it could be between Dutch and the USA and Great Britain it could be between Dutch and the USA for the 4x4. Dutch and Great Britain for the 4x4 because Great Britain have four athletes who can challenge. Because they have two of the athletes, they are sub 50 running. They're running sub 50 right now. Amber and Anthony. It's gonna be tricky for Great Britain. I think Great Britain could show up. Oh, you're saying for the 4x1, Great Britain. So at first I was saying for the 4x1, it's for US to lose, just like how it's for the US to lose in the 400. And I'm thinking the Jamaicans should be able to get the second place. So the third place is up for grabs in the 400 meter. Third place is up for grabs in the 4x1 for women. Edwin said, you are right, 4x4 team women is a good team. It's a good team for both teams. Very good team for both. But with Sydney McCatlin and Nikisha Price, that's like it cancels out each other. It just comes down to the first three athletes at that point. Because Sydney McCatlin can run a good enough leg similar to what Nikisha Price will be able to run. Brian is saying the 4x4. Yeah, the 4x4 for women, Great Britain could get themselves that third spot. And if Jamaica is, I want to say third spot for the 4x4. But that's also a stretch to some extent because they have more athletes running sub 49 than Jamaica. We have to be going on just pure strength. Clipped, welcome to live. Appreciate your comment. Yes, man. So we're talking a little bit about the possibility of medals in the relays. And I was saying, we're talking about the 4x4. What are the opportunities for Jamaica to medal in the 4x4? And for women, could it be that the US already have it taken? They have a sure spot for the 4x4. The 100 meters for the women. But the 100 meter is for the USA. And could Jamaica get the silver? Or could it be Poland or Dutch? But the curveball is Great Britain. And Great Britain having four athletes running 50. Two sub 50 and two flat 50. The US, the Great Britain team will be a team to watch. No questions asked. they will be a team to watch. But we also know that some of the smaller teams, they put a lot of work into their relay and they change over much better than the bigger teams. And they usually execute better. But Jamaica, we're hopeful that we could get the silver, ideally the gold. Remember when the USA put together the best possible 4x4 team in history in 2015? Sonia Richard Ross, Alistair Felix, and two others. Those two others were probably arguably faster than maybe the slowest at the time would have been Sonia Richard Ross. And Jamaica got the gold medal at the championship in that one with Sherika Jackson running one of those amazing third legs. Um, you know, Clipper saying, "Whoa, what a surprise! Edwin believe in himself for once." Edwin had been a trooper, bringing a lot of perspective to the conversation. Suddenly, Hilton, welcome back to the live. Appreciate the comment. I think we have a strong 4x4 women this year, especially with Nikisha Price being the strongest. But between Nikisha Price and the rest of the ladies, the gap is huge. Because if you look at Nikisha Price, she is a sub 48 athlete, a sub 49 athlete. But if you look at the Great Britain team, they have an athlete running 49.51. And then they have another athlete running, where is it? Another athlete running 49.87. And then two other athletes running 50s, like flat 50s there, similar to what Jamaica, because Junelle Brumfield is running 50, her season best is 50.74. And the Great Britain fourth athlete is running 50.76. So the Great Britain team is a strong team on paper, but the execution is where the difference will be. Yeah, so Clip Edwin is saying I'm usually a well-behaved person unless I get into my trolling mode. Mills anchoring. Oh, what was Mills? Oh yeah, in the 2015. JJ Empire, welcome to the live. Appreciate the comment. LOL. Here sub 48, you would have drink some turbo juice. My bad. Sub 49. Sub 49. My bad. I corrected myself after I was looking at it. Sub 48, you definitely would have to drink something special. I think Janelle ran a personal best at the trials, and that's the personal best. It's the 50-74. And with Olympics, they said Olympics usually bring the best in you. And I was saying that I think the athletes, they are cohesive in the camp. They have been working together. They have good vibes going on. And depending on how the medals come in, and that's how, depending on the first medal, how it comes in, the quality of the medal, you'll see the rest of the athletes feeding off each other. If one of those athletes that we expect to medal, right? You'll see the athletes feeding off each other. So if we get a gold medal early, you'll see that ripple effect, and then that ripple effect continues like a uranium bomb. It will just keep going. But if you see an athlete who should have won a gold medal failing to win their gold medal, you'll find that other athletes will be feeding off that as well, and it will put a damper in the camp. And this is not for, I'm sure they all know that. If the athletes win early, you'll find that they continue to win. And if they lose early, you'll find that they continue to lose until somebody break that cycle. So it is for them. And if you see how they are talking right now, they are very passionate and they believe in themselves. But should they win early, a gold medal early, a gold medal, the quality of the medal does matter. If they get a silver, it's like, all right, we're in an average mode, but they usually will feed off each other. I hope Junelle can cut down her PB some more, and Stacy and Williams is in good relay. It's a good relay runner as well. Hopefully they can, because I really do believe they could challenge for the gold. The strongest runner for the US is Sydney McCatlin, and she's actually a 400-meter hurdle runner, but she's running the best time, and that's why the US will be so hard to beat, because their hurdle runner is running the best time, which suggests that their strongest runner is yet to PB, or to find form this year, is yet to find the correct, or to peak yet. Yeah, it will be a domino effect, I think. If they are able to get that victory early, it will be a domino effect. And it will carry through all the way to the relays. We'll see victory after victory after victory. And that's why I was asking the question, how many medals do you think that we'll be bringing home? It really does depend on how soon we start medaling and the quality that we get in the first quality, the first medal we got, the quality that we got there, you'll continue to see similar quality medals. Johnny Kelly is saying 2008 2.0 we are creating in Paris. Well, the coaches had been saying it. Everybody had been saying it. I hope that we'll get to see it. I definitely had to invest in my pot covers as well. I sent to Jamaica to get a few covers. I'm donating it to some acrobatic fellow who is willing to climb to the top of the bus center and let his voice be heard. IT Push, appreciate the comment. There. Generate Killing say welcome IT Push. Yeah man, that's what I was saying. I think that the conversation that started out with who is the fastest it's a done, it's a null point at this point. Michael Johnson, I think it did really need a conversation, but a lot of people voiced their conversation, their opinion surrounding it, and at the end of it, it came back to where it started. Asafa is the well, Usain Bolt is the world fastest man alive, and Noah Lyles is just Noah being Noah. For the 200 meters, I was wondering if there will ever be a time when the Jamaica team find themselves with 3 or 4 good 200-meter runners, men, not women. Because right now we still have 3 athletes represented at the Olympics for women. Even though it's only it's only Sherika Jackson that is an elite athlete in that group, we still had 3 athletes represented at the Olympics. We touched on a few points, and I was saying that Christopher Taylor being banned because of JADCO and the way how they conduct their drug tests and stuff like that. Do you believe that it affected our chances getting a team to a 4x4 team for men to the Olympics? And also, do you think that it could also affect the chances of us getting an athlete moving from the 400 down to the 200, the same way how we see other athletes in different countries moving from the 4 to the 2 or from 2 to the 1? Do you believe that the administrative teams in Jamaica, like the J3A, JADCO, Jamaica Olympic Association, those kind of things are affecting the growth of the sport? Because I do believe that it's affecting it. For the simple fact that we would have had a Christopher Taylor at the Olympics, I do believe that he would have been at the Olympics and he would have given us a medal. Not even if he didn't give us a medal, he would have given us an extra spot in the Olympics because he's a 400-meter athlete. We failed to get a 4x4 qualifying time. He's also a 200-meter athlete when he was at the Easter Boys and Girls Championship stage. And he's a runner that is no longer in the pool. And it really comes down to, I think, because of the administrations in Jamaica. Do you believe that they are doing a disservice to the athletes? Johnny Kenny said, no, J3 are not doing their job. So, in other words, yes, they're been doing a disservice. Cliff is saying 8 to 10 medal is a good ballpark. I think the most we got at an Olympic Games is 13, and that's in 2012. Why is it a good ballpark? You're not believing that the athletes are strong enough at this point? Or do you believe that the traditional medals will not come in the way how they would otherwise come in, like the 100, 200-meter medals, stuff like that? You know what? You are correct. Because we had Yuan Blake and both at the same time. We guaranteed 4 medals, but we got 5 in the 200 during the 2012 season, we were guaranteed at least gold in the 100 women and 200 women, and we have got more than what we were guaranteed, and the different medals that came. But right now, we do have an opportunity to get medals in different events like the triple jump, the long jump, the right now Gail and Pinnock could medal in the same event. You could see a medal coming for what's her name? Shanike Ricketts. Could see a medal coming for her. In the we may not get the amount of medals in the sprint like we traditionally would, or even expect to get those. But why do you only think we'd get 8 to 10 and not more? Pushai is saying Junil need to share some of Team USA secrets, like where the drone is placed. We want to know where the drone is placed so the athletes can avoid that spot. Brian Lou, I truly think Great Britain with 4 athletes running sub 50 are very consistent in the team. It is the team to beat. The US is like Jamaica, as you said, with one outstanding athlete. The British is really looking good. There you have it. The smaller teams, and not just Britain, you'll find the Dutch team. None of these athletes are really showing up here. These are the teams that they are sleeper teams. They just pop up on you. The Polish team, they pop up and they just demolish you. You won't see them coming, but they had been training because their athletes are not very confident in winning an individual medal. So they put a lot of effort into winning the big medals. Clift is saying 2012 was a glory year. We don't look as strong as last Olympic, and we got 11 medals in Tokyo. We really don't look as strong as last Olympic. We did lose medal because I think Sherika Jackson could have medal in the 200, so it could have gone a little bit further there. But I think we are going to have to wait until after the Olympics to do a lot of assessment. One of the biggest mystery in this entire leading up to the Olympic and during the Olympic is the MVP camp. It is such a mystery. It's hard to tell with what's going on with them. The athletes are under the radar, so far under the radar to the point where we have no clue of what is going on with them. Because they're saying, but I agree, we're getting medals that we wouldn't normally get in other events. And we don't know if we'll get athletes to perform beyond our expectation because again, as I said, the MVP they're producing athletes at levels that is they are it's really hush hush. What we saw from Kishane Thompson, I believe that it was not supposed to be seen. That was supposed to be under the radar and then get presented at the Olympics. Is there another athlete who is being groomed or being developed in a similar way? You know what I mean? Like, what are we going to get out of what are we really going to get from the Jamaica team? It's hard to say. JJ Empire is saying, how fast do you think Tia going? For Tia, that's what I mean. The entire thing is a mystery as far as I am concerned. Because again, unless they're really using mind games, but what we saw from Kishane Thompson is like they're not really using mind games. Kishane was saying that I can go way faster. And he literally apologized to the coach because he ran as fast as he did. Now, Tia Clayton, after she ran her time at the trials, she did a PB at the trials and she followed up with another very good time. Now, Tia Clayton was saying that she had no question that she would have qualified for the Olympic. The only thing that surprised her was the fact that she had a PB. She had a PB and that was surprising to her because usually they work on aspects of the race. They weren't working on a complete race, aspects of the race. And the different aspects of the race that she was working on and where she was in her development she did not expect to run a PB, or even if she PB'd, it wasn't supposed to be such a good PB. So, how fast can she run? I believe the mystery is similar to what Kishane is doing because she did not expect to have such a good PB coming from 11, barely going sub 10, barely going sub 11 to the point where she went 1086. That's a big jump. And then she came back and she did 1090. Another good jump. And we have seen, and well, we have seen her again. After we saw her, I don't think she ran a sub 11 in that race. It was also in the meet in Hungary. But she said that she did not expect the PB, and the coach, she was just going on instruction of the coach to just execute aspects of the race. I definitely think Frano has made her slim down since trials. So we can expect good stuff from her. Edwin is saying Tia is a wild card. She might do well in the Olympics, or she might end up choking like I expect. Oh my God. Have you ever seen Kishane choke? Have you ever seen Kishane choke? Is it what you're expecting or what you're wishing? That almost sounds like when I was like, I hope he stays healthy. Oh man, Kishane choke. Have you been following Kishane? I hope when he shows up and do what we're all expecting and hoping and wishing for him to do. I hope he shows up big, bold, and brutal. You can imagine what would happen in track and field, Twitter, and everything else if the USA get dominated by Jamaica. It would be sweet revenge for all of the misbehavings and all of the underestimating, the discrediting and disrespecting. Noah apologized in advance for all those things. The fans would have to do the same. No exceptions. Everybody would have to be apologizing. Well, I do believe that the Jamaica team, they're going to do well. They have been signaling it. It's good energy in the camp. And I am amplifying the similar energy. And I'm going to say, appreciate all of you guys at this point. It's time for me to wrap up. I'm going to get a better sleep routine because I found out that the Jamaica team, when the matches start, or when the race start, it will be 3 a.m. How can I wake up at 3 a.m. to see a race? So I'm going to wrap it up here and get my routine, my sleep routine right. JJ Empire saying if US win, me have come off of the media. Where you are gonna go? Where you are gonna go? Cliff is the only thing I'm worried about is how our relay will turn out. That's a very good concern. But the only thing I'm kind of banking on the fact that they are running in one event and not two. Only Sherika running two events, so they will have time to train after their main event is done. They will have the time to train. I think they will have at least 3 or 4 days, hopefully. So that's what I'm banking on. I want to say good night to everybody. I appreciate everybody who stopped by. I appreciate all the comments, those who came late. Thank you for coming nonetheless. I sure appreciate it. Edwin, I saw you and Wendy bonding over your trolling. And anyways, you guys made it fun because you have a lot of contribution. Truly appreciate all of it. If we win JA, people will hear from me day and night. Can you imagine right now, leading up to it, JAP is hearing from you already? Huh? He's out. I came late. I appreciate you stopping by, man. All of you guys who stopped by, all the comments. I appreciate it because guess what? I am late to the party as well. I'm new to the commentary and all of that. So as usual, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm gonna say peace out. We write the narrative. Like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe.